probably the biggest thing that we worked on was Coast to Coast, which for those that are not familiar with Coast to Coast, basically the way that is it's a show that they go around all over to different cities in the country.
Yeah,
they talk a little bit about it because you kind of have a little more information on that.
Coast to Coast was pretty much like a chance for artists to invest in themselves and get themselves on a platform where most artists can't if they didn't have the money. Coast to Coast was definitely one of those things that was probably the most inspiring moments of my career. You know what I'm saying? Because you were definitely one of the investors as well as one of the people to support the whole movement to go down there.
Talk a little bit about as far as like when you were on the stage performing, the vibe, kind of what the venue was like and things like that, from your point of view, and then I'm going to say it from my point of view.
Man, it was definitely something that had me nervous, but in a good way, because for me, I'm a firm believer that if you're not nervous, there's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer of that because it lets me know that the emotions I'm feeling are real. But, from the moment that I walked on that stage, man, I just had to boost my confidence up. It was on 100. And I knew that there was at least 20 other artists in there, possibly an A&R, possibly producers that were willing to work and
compete
at that.
There was 27 artists that were, because they were only giving away three prizes,
yep.
And there was 20 other artists that were, they brought their A game, and you knew you had to bring your A game too.
Absolutely, man. And it was from the moment that I walked on that stage. I remember walking up to the judges and giving them each my business card and looking at the crowd and just, reassuring myself. I'm like, man, I'm about to kill this shit because we didn't come down here for nothing.
That's right.
And I haven't put in all this work for nothing. So.
And one of the judges worked on the radio for a Miami radio station.
Yeah.
The other judge was part of Coast to Coast, and the other one was a DJ or
a producer, I think, a well-known producer or something of that sort.
Something you want to make a very good first impression on.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You got 20 other artists this person's going to be looking at, and you had to go in. This venue was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was at Will Call Miami, and you can check out their Facebook, and we'll leave links to their website as well. But big shout out to Coast because the whole thing was awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Lil Fats.
And one of the things, like from just one of the people in the audience, that I got to see is when a lot of them, when they would perform, they would get off the stage, and maybe one or two people would come up and shake their hand or, good job. I mean, everybody was clapping because one of the things that they said is you leave your ego at the door. And I thought that was great because, there was a collaboration, between the artists. But the difference was when you got off the stage, there was 10, 11 different artists shaking your hand. There was more artists coming up to you to shake your hand and tell you what a good job you did. Not saying that the other artists weren't good, but to get that kind of response
that's all energy. That's all energy. That's all that is. Like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna give exactly what you get. And that's exactly what it was. Like I felt a positive energy from the moment that I stepped on the stage. So I made sure I'm gonna leave this performance with them knowing who Kevin Nova is. You know what I'm saying? And that was the exact response I got. It was nothing but just love and good positive energy. You feel me?
And by the end of the song, I mean, you had people singing. They were doing the 1 time, the 2 time.
Yeah.
Now I wish you would have done "King of My City," but that's okay. The next time, I
King
still
of Diamonds.
I still want to see that performance. So that whole thing was good, and just the whole experience of Coast to Coast. But getting to watch that, and then the other thing too was, while we were there, it was. You got to see so many different artists perform different genres, and some did better than others. A couple forgot their lines and things like that, but a simple thing that you had said was the way you were talking, the way you were holding the mic, how much different that did for the sound. Yeah. And, for artists that are, and like I said, he's the expert on it, but when I would listen to it, sometimes when they would scream into mic, it made my ears hurt or it was very hard to understand. But with Kevin's music, you were able to understand it. And when I asked him about it, he was explain to what you were saying about.
Pretty much. I mean, it's real simple, man. And I'm actually going to put a lot of artists right now on game. When you perform, this part of the mic right here that you talk into, you're not supposed to cover that. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to hold the mic below it and talk into the part that you're supposed to talk into. So
a lot of people, they do like
they would hold it up, they would put their fingers over it and try and make it look cool, and it's like,
this ain't Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like you want to give the people a good show. Like, you put all that work into that song for what? Just to let people look at it like it's mediocre? Like, no, that you put work into that song, let it show. You're here to showcase your work. You put $300 up, showcase it. There was too many artists that were just bullshitting.
Yeah, and you couldn't understand it, and I think that's another reason why a lot of people, they were unable to understand your lyrics, and it just came out, like, it was just a better quality. Like, it literally felt like it was totally different speaker setup, like, even though everyone was using the same mic, same system, it sounded completely different. So, but that's pretty much kind of how we met, why we partnered up,
and coast to coast,
the whole coast to coast thing, which was, as so far, it's probably the coolest thing I've been involved with the whole Kevin Nova thing. So, anything else you want to say on that part? Or
nah, shout out to Coast to Coast, shout out to Mr. Jamestown, and everybody else that supported the event. Definitely
the supporters that bought the CD that got him there. Yeah. We appreciate all of you. So if you're watching this, and you bought that CD, you bought more than just a disc.
Shout out my cousin Freddie. Shout out Laura. Yeah.
There we go. All right, so we're going to go to a quick commercial break again, and then we will be right back. We're going to get into kind of interviewing a lot about Kevin Nova, learning about who he is, where he's from, and where he plans on going. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Kevin Nova.